yet another political podcast. Come together and yap with us.
Hello, yappers, and welcome back. We're here to talk about the dumbest things that have happened in the political sphere this week. With me at the moment is Adam.
How's it going?
We might have some other guests joining here in a bit. Uh Today this week's been kind of tame in the national news. I mean, we got plenty of dumb shit to talk about, but it's not as dumb a shit as some weeks. Let's start off with maybe the dumbest thing, and it's several things together, and we'll start with the demolition of the east wing of the White House to make room for Trump's gilded 900-person ballroom, because that's what the White House needs, especially during a shutdown. Hi, Norman.
Yeah. I read a quote. It might have been from a press conference today. I think it was that this ballroom is really Trump's number one priority right now. That's from Lion Levitt, which, America first, baby. Well, people are, not getting paid, and SNAP is not going to be coming through for people who need it this next month, just in time for the holidays. Yeah, we need to fucking tear the White House down and build a ballroom, which it's being paid for by donors apparently, so no big deal, right?
Yeah, we did get a big list of the donors. I'm not going to go through the entire list, but they include some big corporations where basically this just seems like a bribe. You got your Apples and your Microsofts and your Winklevoss twins. Apple's in there. I'm almost certain. I think I said Amazon, right? Yeah, it's your major corporations and a few other big billionaires. And the costs keep ballooning. Originally, it was going to be 200 million, and then 250. We heard for a while. I've seen some estimates saying that this is probably going to be a $300 million project, which wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I bet it will go far beyond that, as we've seen how the government handles its contracts. But anyways,
but getting to the other piece of this is, well, we're promised all of these donors. We don't know how much anybody in particular is giving, and Trump himself has said he's going to donate. But here's the other weird thing that's come out in the last couple of days, that as part of his retribution against the government, because him had his special files taken from him at Mar-a-Lago, even though he was asked for a full year to just give them back and then lied about giving them all back, sued the government, the DOJ, for $230 million. And now his former private lawyer that's in the assistant attorney general position gets to make the determination on that. So he's also claimed that he's going to donate it all. So I have to wonder, is where it's so close to the amount of money that this damn ballroom is he just going to steal it from the government by suing basically himself and then collecting from himself and then donating our tax dollars?
Yeah, feels like another grift, right? I mean, this is par for the course. Me. It's all about him getting even and getting his, retribution, as you said, or I don't know. It's insane. It's every day. It's some other insane thing that like any president before this would have been immediately, being called out, or many things that would have gotten someone impeached and removed, and it's just this thing that's acceptable now. Like you're saying with the donations with the ballroom. Yeah, that's no strings attached, right, guys? They're just doing it out of the good of their heart because they love, Trump in America so much that they want to give Trump this ballroom. So
yeah, no problem.
I did notice it was suspiciously close to the amount, but I don't know, man. I don't know when if we'll ever reach a breaking point with this insanity, but
Norman, why would a first lady ever need an office? I mean, does Melania Trump need an office? No, she doesn't do anything actively for the country. And why should any good woman do anything that rather than just having her husband do it for her? Because yeah, that's one
Uh,
of the things that we lose by tearing out this whole east wing of the White House. It was primarily the first lady's office,
yeah.
amongst a few others.
Yeah. I mean, they might be trying to bury the Epstein files under there for all we know. We don't know where they went, guys.
The only thing I hope
Uh,
comes out of this, which it probably won't, if anybody knows the history of the White House, Harry Truman, like, basically gutted the entire interior, and I mean gutted. Like, there were bulldozers inside that like pushed everything around, and it was completely rebuilt, other than the facade outside from the ground up.
yeah.
Mostly so they could add a lot of the extra like bunker stuff that they have today. Um, but also like his big thing, because he was a mason, was looking for the cornerstone that they laid for the White House, and supposedly he never found it. So maybe they'll find it doing all this dig. Maybe we'll get a historical piece of evidence.
Mm. Well, it burned at one point, right? Didn't the original White House
Yeah, in
burn?
1812, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
But Truman's 1947, so it had been
yeah,
rebuilt, and then he basically redid the
he
entire interior.
yeah.
Um, I'm
I mean,
not
and
so much
that's
I'm
sorry.
not so much
Go ahead.
against this the way a lot of people are. It's like, I don't. Do we need it? Do we need a $300 million fucking project for a ballroom while we're in a shutdown, and we've got so many other problems? Even if it's
Yeah.
donations, well, then tax those people, and those shouldn't just be donations. That should be $300 million going to a lot of other things.
Yeah. Well, what did we read? That Christy Nome just was allowed to purchase 2 jets for her private travel for $147 million, I think. Um, yeah, I'm not against presidents renovating or changing the White House. I'm pretty sure they all do to some extent, depending on their
Yeah, this is one of the
tastes and
bigger
whatnot.
ones,
Yeah, it
but
just
yeah.
it just feels so endemic, like the shots of the bold or the backhoe, type thing, just destroying it. With everything that's going on as far as how this administration just fucking shits on the Constitution daily, and this kind of backdrop of worsening economic situation, it feels very reminiscent of other things that have happened in history, as far as how empires go. Um, I don't know. It's just another crazy fucking thing.
Yeah, and as far as like renovations go, other than what Truman did, most of it's been like $2-3 million projects. Oh, you wanted a basketball court, Obama, instead of a tennis court. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah.
paved over the pool so we could have the press room.
Yeah.
Nixon did, and I was trying to think. Oh, but why did Trump fucking concrete over the goddamn rose garden?
Yeah.
Why? That's the one I'm just like, I'm
And
more
now
fucked
it's
up about that than the stupid fucking ballroom, to be honest.
the Rose Garden Club, but the Rose Garden is gone. So yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Yeah,
impact
it's
the current structure. Yeah, no,
well,
that's
look at
not for
the
sure.
shit he's done with all the gold and stuff. It's gaudy.
It's all
Erect.
fake gold.
Yeah,
Somebody I
yeah.
had seen on another podcast today said
Painted tin.
something about how they're gonna run Hobby Lobby nationwide out of gold spray paint and foam.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just tin bullshit. It's just like everything else with Trump. It's all facade. And,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know, what is it like? Trump is a poor person's idea. He's like the poor person's idea of how a rich person should be. You know, the dude's like, he's pretty white trash. Besides having the billions of dollars, like the way he eats, the way he lives his life, his attitude. But
Yeah,
Anyways,
for a
it's
guy that's had so much, like he's come close to just being in bankruptcy and not being able to get out several times in his life, and somehow he just fails upwards every single time.
yeah. Yeah, he bankrupted a casino. I mean, like, how do you do that?
Two
Yeah,
casinos.
two
I mean, part of
casinos.
the
Okay.
problem is that you own two casinos that are right across the street from each other. So you're
Okay.
just competing with yourself. Like it's okay to have competition and have multiple casinos, but if you try to have a unless you have an absolute monopoly on everything, you're wasting your time. And even then, like you can only expand so far before it's just fruitless. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure it was a grift. He got tax breaks and stuff, and he made his money. And it doesn't matter if the business fails. If he gets his money out of it. I mean, it's kind of like hostile takeover type shit, but doing it to yourself. But
So I guess the next big thing, the first piece of it's kind of minor. The White House finally has a Blue Sky account, but they got it exclusively to troll the libs. Isn't that cool? I
yeah,
love that so much for the White House. Um,
your mama.
that's a whole separate thing we'll get to in a minute because even
I
this
know.
has
I
a
know.
part two as the last one did. Because also from official White House accounts this week, we got a video of Trump as a king literally shitting on the country in a plane in this stupid AI video posted to the official White House accounts. It's like you said a while ago, any other president, none of them would do this. It's one thing to like poke at your political rivals, but like this is just so fucking gross.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a new level of disgust and insane bullshit that we have. We talk about the bar, the bar's fucking gone.
It's in hell.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. The bar has been vaporized. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, eh, you bringing up, like, if this was any other president, I don't know if you'd be impeached and removed over something like this, but I'm sure there'd be, people on both sides of the aisle going, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you fucking insane?" You can't this isn't how a president acts. They forget that they're the president of the entire country. It's just this. I mean, look at all the rhetoric around the No Kings protests. Like Mike Johnson and fucking who else was it? There was
They
saying,
went
"Oh,
to the
they're
anti-American rally.
they're Antifa, they're Hamas, and they're this," and
We
like,
have so
holy
much Hamas in
shit,
America. It's incredible. You
it's
can you
insane.
can fit so much Hamas in this bad boy.
Is Hamas is there? It's like the woke thing. It's just whatever they don't like you. You're Hamas.
Is the Hamas in the room with you right now?
Oh man, I just don't. They can just lie and do whatever they want, and that 35% of the population just
50 years
makes
from now, Norman,
excuses.
I think
Makes
that's generous,
excuses.
to be honest. Um, we'll see.
Yeah,
But this is just a whole level of dumb. And then
yeah.
I guess that does bring I had this as a whole separate segment, but you had already kind of touched on it
Oh,
too, Adam, that Carolyn Levitt made the worst yo mama joke ever. When she was asked by a reporter whether Trump and the White House could see why it would be insensitive for Ukraine to have a meeting with Putin in Budapest after some like I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was bad historically.
it's
Um,
where they
a
had made
slight
a
against
deal.
Ukraine, and it
Yeah,
went south for Ukraine. So
I think it
why it
was.
would be
Yeah,
bad. And so rather than answer the question like a serious human being in the job of White House communications director, she just said, "Oh, yo mama." It's like, what? Really? I mean, it shouldn't be surprising after the official White House accounts are floating AI literal bullshit.
Yeah.
Um, but she could have like, man, it's the worst Yo Mama joke ever too. It's not even good. She didn't troll well here.
Yeah, it's not even a joke. It's just like I'm all out of lies, yo mama. No, the reason I said it was just making fun of the ludicrous like fucking these are like petulant teenagers that you're dealing with, unfortunately, who have fucking the pretty much all the power of our government right now. Maybe that might be a little dangerous as we've seen. Um, yeah, it's just these people are woefully unqualified for their jobs, and we see it every day. Like, this is, like you said, she's the White House communications director. Like, she's supposed to be the mouthpiece of the president, essentially, with the
Oh, she is
press.
certainly a
Yeah,
mouthpiece.
yeah. And they lie every day, and then I'm all out of lies. So, yo mama, I guess. I don't know. But
Yeah,
uh
and here's the thing, because then she like this was a reporter from HuffPost that she went on to say, "Oh, you're not a serious." I mean, they call everybody fake news that they don't like, but on some level, I actually kind of agree with her, where she's like, "Yeah, your other peers don't tell you that you're not a respected journal." Honestly, I don't really like HuffPost, but
yeah.
the way this woman went about it. Hello, Robbie.
Hey.
Howdy, sorry to be late.
It's all good. What are your thoughts on this bleach blonde bimbo in the White House communications director role?
Uh, there were uh, so many thoughts. I mean, she's just another sycophant, right? Like, it doesn't fucking matter what she says. It doesn't matter what comes out of the White House anymore. Um, okay, the White House made a bunch of blue sky accounts, okay, over the last week or so. I just went through and muted every one of them because it's just worthless junk. Like, if you look at it, it's just them trying to get people to be cool with what they're doing. There's little messages on there saying, like, see, kids are still going to school even though we tore down the Department of Education. It's not so bad. Like, it's fucking horseshit. Like, it does not. We have no transparency whatsoever now. It's just full on propaganda. Like, at least with the goddamn Dems, they tried to pretend. Like, oh man, yeah. Hmm.
Speaking of Dems that pretend, I guess we're done with all the trolling. So let's get into something that Adam and I are a little closer to, but it has been in so much of the national news this week. I don't think we can afford to not talk about Graham Plattner, who we've talked about on the show before because we like the guy. Um,
Oh, I thought you were going to mention Cory Booker and his inability to recognize the fact that he's been taking blood money in
I
public.
mean, that's just all of the top Democratic
Yeah.
components. I mean, we could just talk about how we don't really like them, and we need people that are like Graham, but maybe not Graham. And we've got so much to unpack here.
He's the
Okay,
guy with the Nazi tattoo, right?
that's again, we've got a lot to fucking unpack on this one. So the current governor of the state, just entered the race, and within days of her entering, suddenly there's all this smear stuff out here about Graham that like hadn't been known before. And at first it was just a bunch of like, it was like 1,800 Reddit threads that he'd been on over the last like 15 years. And some of it was strong language, but I even agreed with, like, yeah, all cops are bastards and should be fired. I wouldn't go that far, but pretty close to it. Um, and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, okay, so he said what a lot of us are really thinking anyway. Fine. But what became an issue a few days later was finding out that he has this tattoo called the Tot Kampf. I purposely don't have a picture of it, but he got it as part of he was drunk when he was 18 in the military in Croatia with a bunch of other guys, and it's just a fun uh, big skull and crossbones. And I can almost believe that, but there's like where last week we were sitting the young Republicans for the shit they were saying. Yeah, there's a lot here.
Nazis in the military. Who would have thought, huh?
You don't
Who
say.
would have ever guessed?
Yeah,
Well-
and this is what a lot of people have been talking about too. What Norman's saying, that like, is he just going to be another Kristen Cinema or Roger Federman, or what is it? Federman? I can't remember. It's
That's the
Roger-
tennis player.
What? Yeah, Roger
John
Federer.
John Fetterman.
Yeah. Will
You
he
mean
just be
John
another one of
Fetterman?
them? But I don't think either one of them have like a fucking weird Nazi tattoo. And he worked at Blackwater after he was in the military, which is kind of problematic.
Oh,
The more you look into this guy that was that has Bernie behind him, but also most of what he says is so left leaning, it's maybe even more left than I want to go. It's hard to reconnoiter what is what. And so before we really get into this, Adam, you had found like a campaign piece that came out just today or yesterday where he addressed this. So here's the clip.
I mean, I don't want to make a connection, but after Janet Mills started running, without saying, I feel like I don't need to say anything. Everyone knows what I mean. But your thoughts?
I'm not going to minimize what has come out. I am not today who I always have been. I used to hold different opinions. I used to use different language. I said things and believed things that today I find abhorrent. I also grew. I met new people. I learned of other people's experiences. I realized that my experiences were my own, and they colored my opinions and where I was. And that the more open I could be to listening to other people's stories, the more open I was willing to be to extend compassion and empathy to others, the more I realized that many of those stories and beliefs that I had were wrong. And I changed them. And it was through that journey that I became who I am today. And I will say this, I am ashamed of things I once said, but I am not ashamed of who I am today. The establishment is spooked. And I'll say this, if they thought that this was going to scare me off, if they thought that ripping my life to pieces, trying to destroy it, was going to make me think that I shouldn't undertake this project, they clearly have not spent a lot of time around Marines.
And before I turn the mic back over to anybody, I just want to say I've edited this purely for time and just cut out the long pauses if you're wondering why there's like cuts, but it does come from one piece of video. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, yes, like a lot of people in my state, Graham excited us because he is taking that populist message that has really been, 2016 and the last election, really populist elections. And because people are struggling and, when people can't pay their bills, they can't afford food or life, that's really the number one issue above everything else. And he's speaking truth to power as I see it, talking about the oligarchy and all that. And yeah, pretty much, could be a Bernie trainee, you know what I mean? It's the same message. And I've donated to his campaign, which I don't do that. I think I donated a small amount to Kamala. But anyways, so the Reddit post came out and it's like, he said some stuff, but that was a while ago. And, when it came out, he owned it. He apologized. And again, his rhetoric doesn't jibe with that sort of right wing or normally what you hear out of right wing people, And then the other day, my coworker comes in and say that it's been revealed that he has this Nazi tattoo. And honestly, it kind of spun me out a little bit because it's like, Jesus, like, have we been completely deceived here?
Though
Um,
maybe also like Graham, I don't know about how many other people. Did you know that this particular design was a thing that was affiliated with Nazis before this week? Because I never heard it.
no,
I'm not trying to
and
downplay it, but
yeah,
it's more obscure. It's not like it's not the bendy cross thing that I'm not
yeah,
gonna actually say.
There's too many
yeah,
symbols the white nationalists have.
yeah,
They don't have an identity, so they keep creating new little symbols to rally behind.
yeah,
They can't go. They can't go to the classic swastika. I mean, that's too off limits. So we've had generations of white nationalists creating new little symbols for us to be
yeah.
confused by.
Well, the Nazis themselves co-opted most of those.
Yeah.
I think the what was it called, the Totenkopf or something, the
Yeah,
skull
that's what
with
this
the
was.
with the
Yes.
bones. It's funny because people pointed out like it's in if you go back to like Inglorious Bastards or different Nazi things, like, oh, there it is. But yeah, I never took particular notice of that emblem. Um, so, anyways, um, I I came into the group chat just like, hey guys, I need some perspective. Um, and I was really like thinking about it a lot, and I'm like, I don't know if I can support this guy. But after watching how he's dealt with it, he's had it covered up. He had it covered up like within 2 days of everything coming out. This whole thing about when he knew it was what it was, because he claims he didn't know that it was a Nazi symbol. I don't know. I can't really get into that. But where I'm at now is, first of all, when's the last time someone running for office had some bad stuff from their past come out and they actually like own it, and they unapologetically, or they apologize without like hesitation, not blaming anyone else? To me, that says a lot. Um, and there's no indication that he is a white supremacist.
Right.
There's
I mean,
people in
the other
real life
piece.
that know him that speak to his character. You know what I mean? So it's like, are we allowed to grow and change? Can we accept that? If we take him at his word, I think that's what he's saying anyways. So I know I'm kind of going on here, but this is something that like really hit
No,
me
you
and is
should.
something close, because
I've heard
you
three
know,
other podcasts on the national level talk about it.
yeah,
So a small podcast where two of us are actually from Maine. I think it's pertinent
yeah,
that we actually get it in here because it's the weirdest feeling I've ever had about a political candidate. It's
yeah,
like, oh my God, last week I was telling you guys how awful these young Republicans that had this Nazi chat about gas chambering their enemies was. And now this week I'm like, I'm not backing away from Graham yet, but all I'm going to say is thank God that the election isn't this year. We have a whole year and a couple of weeks
yeah,
before we actually have to vote for the guy. And I think we'll have a better idea who he really is. But then you go, so on the other side of that, of the tattoo, is all his problematic Reddits, which are completely on the other side of the spectrum than a Nazi can be. Uh,
Well, there was some other stuff that
it's
there was some other stuff that he said that I'm not going to
He's a
repeat.
dude from
You
Maine.
can
He's
look up.
got a lot of
Um,
views. He's got a view about everything.
yeah,
That's
and
what
those
we do.
ranged from 12 to 5 years ago. I mean, I can say even for myself, I've changed a lot as a person in the last 5 years, and that's another aspect I come at it from, is like, I've made a lot of fucking mistakes in my life. I've done a lot of stupid shit. I've hurt people with my actions. So
I know
I
you
think
don't
in a
have a
way,
Nazi tattoo though,
no,
so
I don't. I don't.
that's helpful. That's
No.
that's one thing you got on Graham.
Well, um, so yeah, where I am with as far as my support with him, it's kind of feeling tentative right now. Like you said, we have time. If some shit comes to light, that shows that he is full of shit and he is some sort of white supremacist, I'll disavow the guy. Like I said in the chat, it's a good thing about not being in a cult. If we find out these people
You
that
can
we
change your
support
opinion.
are terrible people, we can say fuck you. So
Now,
yeah, and it doesn't seem to be slowing him down. I thought there would be much more
No.
loss of support, and it just that the video we watched was from it's a small town, but the hall they were in was filled. That new poll from UNH has him 58%.
But you've got to take
24%.
into account that this poll was taken before all of this new information
Oh,
about.
I thought that was
his
from today.
Reddits. It came out today,
well,
but
okay,
the
yeah.
polling was before all of the other stuff came out. So, yeah,
That's true. Yeah, but so like I said, I'm feeling tentative. I don't think I'll be donating any more money for a while. We'll see what happens. But the other side of it is like we need to get fucking Collins out of there. We need.
Yeah, as everybody's pointed out in the comments, she's very concerned, and that's her biggest problem.
We need to. We need something different. We can't keep electing establishment Dems because they're useless. So we'll see how this all plays out. But anyways,
I would say my big problem. Look, I'm not from Maine. I didn't know who this guy was before the Nazi tattoo stuff came out, so it was kind of a weird thing for me. And I just I think we should be less forgiving of someone in his position, because it's like, okay, I've fucked up a lot. I've done a lot that I've messed up with, and generally most of the people in my life seem to have forgiven me for my foibles and let me live in public without too much of a problem. But I'm not running for office. I haven't done work with Blackwater, okay? I
that's one of the problematic pieces, too.
A lot of the things about this guy, it just feels like a psyop almost. Like, maybe that's an extreme way of putting it, but he feels like a guy that's propped up, to represent a working class movement of some kind, when in actuality he's probably working for the people who don't want working class movements. I don't know. I would be a little skeptical of him from now on, especially. It's one thing for somebody to be a dumbass in their early 20s. It's another thing for them to fully embrace the military-industrial complex for many years on different levels, on sketchy levels.
Yeah.
That would be something I would consider with this guy. But what politician is even moderately trustworthy half the time in this day and age? I don't want to vote for him, but I don't really have any other option. Yeah.
Because when it comes down to our actual choices here on the ground in Maine next year, it's between, so on the Democratic side, you've got him and our Democratic governor, Janet Mills, which I like. I like Janet Mills, but I will not vote for her for Senate. She's 77 now. She'll be 78 next year when we vote for her. That would be the oldest first-term senator in the history of the U.S.
Yeah.
And we don't need any more 80-year-old senators.
No,
and on the other side, on the Republican side, we have a Bush cousin, like that Bush, and a bunch of other like far-right MAGA asshats.
Yeah.
So those are our choices realistically.
I do want to say, if you read up on Graham, he talks about, so what I've been reading is it's not uncommon for people who are in the military to go into a military adjacent thing, like the contracting. He worked for them for 6 months, and he has said his time with them is what really started to change his way of thinking. And he said, in reflection, his time in the military and doing that job is really enlightened him to a lot of the fucked up shit that our government does with our military. So again, to me, it's showing that he's learned and he's grown. He's disavowing those sorts of things. And, pretty much like Bernie says, we need to stop wasting so much fucking money on killing people.
And
take
I
care,
think
and
the
take
thing
care
with
of our
politicians,
citizens.
I agree with those things, but I also think the thing with politicians we need to keep in mind is that actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
So I think we should start
agree.
watching his actions more thoroughly to have a full grasp. I mean, it affects you guys more than it does me. So I'm kind of on the outset. I can be a little more cynical without it feeling like I'm throwing an
Yeah.
election down the drain or something. I promise I'm not trying to overstep my bounds. I appreciate being here.
Oh, not at all. I mean, if we're talking about electing a U.S. senator. Those people wield a lot
Yeah,
of
where you
power.
only need where it does affect
They're
you. It's
go-
more
it
than like
does. Yeah.
when we elect a Democrat House representative. That doesn't mean quite as much to you. But when we elect a Democrat senator that flips a seat from Susan Collins and a
Right.
very
Who's a Trump
concerned
toady.
R,
Yeah.
She's a fucking Trump toady.
then it
you know?
actually will help. It helps you more
No.
than like when we get a
Yeah.
Dem governor here, half a world away.
I think
Totally.
it just.
I agree with that.
I try not to get too worked up because when he came out, there's politicians and there's statesmen, and we haven't had statesmen, or they're very few and far between, and that's what I feel like. He's not a polished politician, you know what I mean?
And that's what I kind of like
but-
about him, and that's what most guys here in Maine, I think, that are behind him like about him, is that he's
But-
not an establishment anything. He's just a dude from the coast of Maine that wants to stir some shit up.
I think proceed with caution. That's kind of my takeaway
Yes,
with
I
everything,
agree.
I do really agree with you about Mills. I mean, we gotta quit having this old blood running our country
Yeah.
because I think they're more easily swayed in a lot of ways. Sometimes by cultural influence, sometimes just by money and the ability to get money. And look, if she was, I don't know, if she was like a Disney animator, it'd be fine to have her around the company. But no, she wants to run for Senate. It's a completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been doing one level of office or another most of her life. She's about to be in her 80s. She should just retire, enjoy her last years, and
Totally.
move on.
Yeah,
And I like her, and that's the sad part.
she's another corporate bought person, though. She's obviously in CMP's pocket. That's the things that have always rubbed me wrong about her. Like a lot of her policies, socially are good, and I was very proud of her for standing up to Trump. Like, that was awesome. See you in court, and they did, and Trump lost.
That's why the National
but-
Democrats like her a lot. And
I just
won't
feel
get
like
behind
we gotta do something different. And another thing that makes me weary of everything is that nobody fucking fights progressives harder than the establishment, the Dem establishment.
I didn't know she was down with CNP, but
she's
That's our power company here in the state.
yeah. Sorry.
There's been some
I'm
stuff.
just
that-
trying to
Control
have
main
a little
power.
fun.
Well, they're not owned. They're owned by a Spanish company or something now. And yeah, there was this whole thing.
And the
our
other
last
half of our
election-
grid is owned by the town of Calgary in Canada. So that's
our last was that 1 or 2 years? That was last year, wasn't it? The Pine Tree Power, wasn't that the presidential? I think it was. They're trying. There was a movement to start a co-op type thing for the whole state, basically, where the state, the people of the state would own because that's worked out really well for people that have
own the whole grid rather than having middleman companies.
But there was
we shot it down at the polls by just a very slim margin.
Yeah, and the fear machine was
against
strong. Yeah, the fear machine was strong with the propaganda. But anyways,
Anyway, we only got 20 more minutes, so I want to get
Okay.
to some of the other bullshit things that have happened this week. Did you know that Trump headed out and had a soft spot for gay dudes that do Republican crime? I mean, if you're going to commute anybody's sentence, why not a gay man that just wants to do drag in Brazil?
who ripped off his supporters, right? Isn't that what he did?
Yes, and part of this commutation, George Santos now does not owe his reparations to
Not
the
a
people that
lick.
he defrauded.
Yeah.
It's a very Trump
the
thing to
Republic-
pardon.
The Republican Party is accepting of all sexualities and nationalities. The Republican Party is accepting of all sexualities, no matter what kind of grift they are playing.
As
It's a
long as the
proud
grift
party.
is for us here in the R's.
We take care of our own in this country.
I just don't understand how Trump can have any supporters left at this point. I really don't. The way he's fucking them all over.
I don't know how he had any supporters left after the first term, but he fucking did.
Between the soybean
Incoming
farmers,
are the pardons for P. Diddy and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. But I
And
mean,
yes, I'm
Ghislaine.
forever
Wait,
going to call her
is that
Ghislaine. I don't.
wordplay? Are you engaging in wordplay, Dustin?
Yes, because
thought
the
her name
family's
was
come out and
Ghislaine.
told people that when you say it that way, that's not her name. Well, she gave up the right for me to call her correct name when she sold children into slavery.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought her issue was
fucking
tax
Ghislaine.
fraud.
move to
God,
a minimum
so
security.
Is that all?
Move to a minimum security facility right after she had a little
Yep.
meeting
Oh my
with Trump's
God,
lawyer in private, and then came out and said
know what?
Who
the
would've
president
thought?
never did anything inappropriate. Well, I would say
How-
the fucking moral compass of a human trafficker and a decent person are probably quite far apart. So, you know, when
Yeah.
a fucking scumbag says you didn't do anything inappropriate, I don't think I'd believe that too well. But anyways, I mean, the
She
guy who
probably-
bragged about barging in on beauty contestant people while they
Yeah.
were changing. But anyways,
You know what? She probably eats better than I do on a daily basis now. I mean, those minimum
I'm
security prisons, they're nothing. You know, you can get decent food. You can get some decent like walking around privileges. You know, I bet they got an okay library. Like, she's probably living an easy life right now, just hanging out. You know, waiting on her food. You know, going.
You got
I
some
bet she has
conjugal
access
time
to
in there.
television.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet she has a lot of that. You know, the way she is. Yeah.
Fuck.
Monster.
Yeah.
Filthy monster. I hate that woman.
And I mean, Santos himself, he's the first House representative to be kicked out of the House in over 100 years. It's for
100
Trump to pardon. I can understand. I mean, I can't understand, but I see where Trump's coming from his stupid fucking point of view to let all the January 6th people go. But what did George Santos ever do for him other than give him the slim majority in the House for a minute?
Well, I imagine he has blackmail on him on some level, as all these Republicans do. I imagine like the things they've experienced like outside of the public eye dealing with Trump is so like crazy that he just knows he has to protect the people that have something on him. I mean, that's what a lot of this is. I bet P. Diddy has some parties that intersected with some Trump shenanigans as well. I bet that's also part of it.
And I bet
it's
those
sickening, but-
55 gallon drums of lube that you can buy on Amazon had something
Jesus,
to do
fuck.
with it. Guaranteed.
Hey,
Where's
Diddy,
the
I
baby oil?
appreciate
It's all
you covering
baby
up
oil
for
for
me.
me.
I sent you the baby oil on me this time. You know, love Donald.
The biggest liar tells the biggest lies, the biggest grifts.
Yeah. He's like a son to me, probably, you know.
He's
Lying
like the black
grift.
son I never knew I had.
Yeah, lying grifting piece of shit. He's just like a son.
So
Oh, did you see that when the Epstein birthday card was discovered?
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that Don Jr. was surprised to find that his father gave people birthday cards. Anyway,
my father wouldn't have given a card ever.
Oh my God,
Hello?
his little statement in the media about how like his dad doesn't want to be a king. If he'd wanted to be a king, he wouldn't have left office the first time. That's horseshit. He totally created an entire insurrection to keep himself in office. Like he was purposefully sending out signals and shit to all his white supremacist supporters. Like that son, if he believes that, then he's insane. Like I'm sure he actually does believe that his father is a king and all that stuff, but he knows it's bad publicity. Everybody in that whole administration is two-faced. Like, yeah, they're all actors.
Only insurrection I know is the worst Star Trek movie ever.
No. Don Jr. has never seen a moment of Star Trek. I mean, you could put like a picture of Captain Kirk in front of him, he wouldn't know a fucking thing about it. Like, he wouldn't have a clue. Like, that's how little cultural knowledge these idiots have, I would say.
Yeah.
So, with 15 minutes left, I want to take us from Brazilian drag queen to some really dumb consequences of enacting anti-trans legislation. You know, beyond the obvious destroying the lives of trans people stuff. So, I'm not going to read this kid's name because he's already got enough fucking bullshit on his ass. But this kid at this particular high school in Arizona, it's only become an issue now. He had his birth certificate, for whatever reason, had an error that said he was female, right? Well, they never noticed and didn't get it changed till it became an issue when he wanted to play basketball here in his freshman year. Well, Arizona's laws and policies say that you can only go by the original birth certificate, even though they had a doctor's note and had this birth certificate amended. They have to go by the original birth certificate. So, you know, you can't change your gender midstream. This kid now has to play for the women's basketball team and in PE use the women's locker room. This is the exact thing that the Republicans are mad about. Even when the school is doing the right thing, they are doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's why this junk doesn't work. You know, like there are all kinds of little clerical errors like that through the country, through every country on earth. There's a small clerical error like that somewhere. So when you create these laws, you're creating like falsehoods about how people, you know, live in the world, and then when these clerical errors pop up, it oppresses the very people that are supposed to be benefiting from this. You know, they've created a circular logic that is now destroying some kid's life. You can't even play basketball. I mean, yeah.
I mean, he's getting like torn
stuff.
up and like the being picked on, probably part of it, but I'll be honest,
yeah.
I probably wouldn't have minded being forced to use the girls' locker room in high school.
Well, we all grow up, don't we?
So this is a girl who's transitioned to being a boy, but
No, this was just
No, this is just a boy.
his birth certificate was fucked up at birth.
Oh, sorry.
His original birth certificate said
Okay,
he was a
okay.
girl,
Clerical
not
error.
transitioning,
because of
cis
clerical error.
individual.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry, I didn't,
But even after they've gotten the birth certificate amended, the way the law is written,
because the original.
it has to be the original birth certificate and what it says on it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, there's nothing we can do about it.
Well,
Like,
I guess you gotta hang out in the girls' locker room and do all the stuff with the girls, even though we're supposed to be not doing that. Yeah, like, it seems crazy. Like, I really don't understand the logic. I mean, are these people really that gung-ho about their Nazi ideology that they're going to be like, nope, we gotta follow the law to a ridiculous T that does not actually, like, function the way we want it to function? Like, it seems really crazy to me that they're doing this on every level, because it's such an obvious, like, clerical thing. You know, people make mistakes when they do your paperwork. You know, people have all kinds of mistakes that happen to their paperwork. I've known of people who had passport issues because it wasn't filled out right, and then they have to spend hours at a time in little offices just trying to tell people like, oh no, I am a man, like this should say male on here or something like that. You know, they mess up the name or something like that. It happens all the time.
yeah. Yeah. it's unintended consequences, right? I mean, this is what we do best. Is they think they're doing something to protect the children, and they end up harming children. This shit happens all the time, you know.
Our friend Josh here just said his name is misspelled on his SS card, and that could create a whole ton of problems for so many reasons. And like, you know, this little thing that this kid is dealing with shouldn't even have the complications that a messed up Social Security card would have.
Thank you, Josh. I didn't think Social Security. I thought you literally meant your SS card, like Graham Plattner in his cotton cuff.
Oh, come on, you know Josh better than that.
I've got one question.
Got that tattoo doesn't mean
I know Josh enough to know that he would make that joke, but I wasn't sure he was really serious about his Social Security card.
I need to see a picture of your chest to see if you have it. We need.
All right, Pete Keg's breath.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about somebody's chest? That motherfucker has literal like Nazi and big and bold.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out if he's fit for buffer time now.
I was gonna
sorry,
say,
Josh, we do love you, but despite your flaws.
I was thinking, we know Graham's not a Nazi because if he was, he'd be in the Republican Party.
Yeah, it's pretty.
He'd be elected 10 times over by those fucking pieces of shit. Yeah, what does Keg's breath have? It's something to do with the Holy Crusades, right?
There's like
white
13,
nationalists
however many of them it is.
Yeah, white nationalists use them as symbols. Yeah.
And
there's no way his isn't. None whatsoever.
Oh no. I mean, yeah. Anyways, fuck.
I was just gonna say, I guarantee you, he was just sloshed as hell when they gave him that tattoo. There's a good possibility he didn't even know what the tattoo was. Like, I would actually believe that he didn't know what the tattoo was when he got it. He's like, stupid. Oh man, I hate that guy.
That was another thing that came up, is that the military has, like, on paper, a very strict no fucking, Nazi or hate group tattoo policy. And it's like, well, apparently you're not doing very well, because, like, Graham Plattner, they give you a physical. No one his whole time in the military, like, said anything about it, like the same thing with Hegseth, you know what I mean? Like, so I'd say whoever's in charge of identifying tattoos needs to do a better job, I guess.
I bet that guy got fired recently and he's really feeling stupid now.
Yeah.
We have too many people with Nazi tattoos, damn it. You're making us look bad.
All right, with a few minutes left, the No Kings protests last week, 7 million people, and as far as we know, everybody that went to the rally for the purpose of the rally was peaceful. There were no arrests. However, there were 26 MAGA arrests that we know of, including this woman that pointed a gun at protesters and was arrested.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that video of that guy who was walking around like screaming obscenities? And then some guy stole his glasses.
And then another dude, and then he falls, and then another dude trips him again.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Oh yeah. Yeah. So much for the tolerant left.
Yeah, I mean, the left was fucking with him. They stole his glasses, and then after he face planted on his own.
You know what? They were being as tolerant as they could be to that piece of shit, okay?
Yeah. No,
I heard
completely
the things he
blew
was
up.
saying on the video.
Yeah, it was shitty. Yeah. I mean, you go into a protest to stir up shit, like, what do you
I highly considered going to the local one as a mime, just so I could shadow the dudes that showed up with their like big fucking flags and asshole costumes.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna like point and laugh at.
Yeah,
go ahead, please.
I was just saying I didn't make it to this one. I had to work, but I was at the one back in June, I think it was. But yeah. Oh, according to MAGA, it was 650,000 people total, and that shot from Boston, the live feed, that was from a Trump rally in 2017, don't you know?
Look, those people don't know how to count. All right, you can't trust their math for anything. In my small podunk town, there I don't know. I think there was a couple hundred, maybe. Kind of. We have a community action center, which a local Dem representative I'm halfway friendly with. They had a bunch of people out protesting in front of that. I think they had some type of Dem rally at the nearby fairgrounds. I'm not for sure how many people got there. I had to deal with work, but look, the last Dem rally I went to, it just felt like playing softball. Like no one said this was, I don't know, probably 6 months ago, but no one said anything about there being actual Nazis in our fucking government or anything. I don't know. I feel really cynical sometimes when I look at my surroundings, but I was very inspired to see 7 million people out through the largest parts of the country, and the protests kept happening through key parts of the country even after the day. I think it was the morning or the night, the day after, they had hundreds of people protesting ICE in New York. So I think there is an intense momentum that is good. You know, it's
and not everybody that
beneficial.
agrees with the sentiment went either. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is good. It's hard not to be cynical because, for me, I mean, because like, what are we doing here? What are we accomplishing?
That's just it. That's why I didn't go, because it's just, you're asking the fascists to pretty please not be fascists anymore.
Yeah.
And like the people that go to the actual ICE facilities and stand there and protest day and night, if I was near one, I would do that. Because that is not necessarily accomplishing something in the moment, but in the long term, I think it is, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
These No Kings protests, I mean, while I agree with the sentiment behind them, you're not accomplishing anything. You're just telling fascists, please, pretty please, don't be fascists anymore. We don't like it. And I agree with that, but fuck.
Well, I think but what I was going to say is that, like, it just kind of occurred to me as we were talking, like, we've seen footage of people are intervening in Chicago. They're in New York. I think that was it yesterday when they were down to they're on Canal Street, and people were like, citizens are like actively like trying to stop. So I don't know. Maybe the protests are just kind of part of that momentum, you know? And I'm all for mocking these fucking pieces of shit, which I really love that aspect of it. And also the going out there and nobody was on our side was arrested, you know what I mean? Or none of the, so I think that helps destroy the narrative a bit. Of course, you're never going to get through. You're never going to get through to the hardcore people who just, you know, I had to get off like threads.
Antifa.
I had to get off threads because it's like every other, they've right wings completely overrun that platform now. And it's like every other fucking post is just the same shit over. Oh, it's only 650,000. And if we actually had a king, blah, 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 you know, and it's just like, holy shit. Like, are you all literally bots, or do you all get the same memo talking
That
point?
is what,
You know?
So for all of the talk of, we got to investigate where the money's coming from for these protests, it's the George Soros. Yeah. I want to know where the money came for the bots. There is 100% on every single article I read about the No Kings protests. There's 4 or 5 times the amount of people as would be on whatever forum or place that talks about politics as there normally are. Some of them are real people, but like 4 out of 5 of them are bots. It's the amount of money spent to try and discredit this thing is incredible. I've never seen anything like it in the bot realm before.
Well, we know the tech
you
bros.
Don't have to worry about this. Okay, Dustin, this came from the president's own personal crypto stock. Okay, friend? No public money is funding bots. It's all the president's crypto earnings. It's perfectly legal. Nothing corrupt about it.
As Elisa's just saying, yeah, I was like up to an additional million and a half people worldwide who also protested, which is pretty fucking crazy.
Elisa, you need to talk to my girlfriend, Antifa, who smokes weed. She'll give you the check.
Don't take your payout in wood nickels
as
or
far
Bitcoin.
as far as the bots, we know the tech bros are in Trump's pocket. They all went to his inauguration. You know,
A few of them.
I'm not a conspiracy guy, but who the fuck knows what's going on with that shit?
Well, our entire goddamn military has been infiltrated by these losers. Like, we had a general admit that he was using ChatGPT to plan out military actions.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's how bad it's gotten.
We've been here for an hour. I'm just going to relay the last two things that we had on the slate to maybe talk about. So this hasn't been talked about much at all in the primary news. Israel seeking to establish their Israeli law over the West Bank, which is effectively annexing it, which we've all known that this was what they wanted all along. So now that they don't have to divert so much time to Gaza, they may vote anytime in the next few days on whether or not to impose their will over the West Bank more than they already have. Because for anybody that doesn't know the situation on the ground, Israeli citizens have been emboldened to just take over any Palestinian or West Bank owned land by Muslims, just because if they're not using it, oh, hey, this parcel of land, you're not using this, so I can just move in here. And if they put down a house and put down roots and start farming land or doing whatever they do with that land, it's theirs now. And now it looks like Israel's just going to straight just take it by saying, okay, you belong to us now. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do?
It's the old switcheroo, you know. Fucking Trump goes to his buddy there and says, "It's not looking great for me. We need to do something." All right, well, we'll have a ceasefire, which they broke within like fucking a day or two.
Days.
As far as they're like Hamas, that's Hamas. Now we can fucking kill children because we yelled Hamas. You know, and so that takes the attention off it, right? As far as the media is concerned, because there's a ceasefire, and now they can just do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, talk about AI slop bullshit. What was that thing? Didn't he post a video, which I'm sure was taken down, basically fucking Trump resort on the Gaza Strip?
Yep. Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
What
that
the
was one
fuck,
of the early
man?
AI official
fuck
videos.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
That was so fucking weird. It was bizarre.
Yeah, fuck you fucking ghouls, you know?
The very last thing I had in the pipeline was that any projects that are put on hold because of the shutdown in Democrat states, the Democrat states aren't going to get their funding back, which is highly illegal. But Trump came out and said that this week, and it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter whether it's legal or illegal. He's going to say it. He's maybe going to do it. We'll see. You never know. I'm going to threaten it because I'm not actually going to do what other presidents in history have done. If there is a shutdown, I should be calling the leaders of the two parties to the White House every couple of days until they hammer out an agreement. Has he done that? No. In fact, just before the shutdown, Trump said that he doesn't really care if these things get resolved. So
his little stooge Mike Johnson will not allow anything like that to happen. They were keeping that Abrolita. I can't say her name, people. I'm very sorry. But anyways, she's like the remaining vote for the Epstein files. So when she gets in there, she's going to immediately vote. Yeah. Sorry, I can't say the name, but everybody knows who I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this.
Yeah, but this is the thing, and I should probably fact check myself. But can a federal judge swear somebody into office? Is that another falsehood? that I've
I don't
seen
think
on
so, not-
social media.
I don't think so for the
people are
House. Because
claiming
the House
that
makes their own rules, and that's.
yeah.
I'm not going to tell you for sure. I am not a lawyer.
Yeah.
This is not legal advice. I don't think so, though.
All right. Well,
By the way,
I probably
Lisa,
shouldn't
I
speak
wanted
too
to say
much
I'm glad you're
because
friends with my girlfriend. She
I'm
needs
not
a
sure.
lot.
Was my best friend's girl.
Well, apparently they're suing. Arizona's suing, right? That's what I
Yeah.
saw. These are
Yeah, the AG from Arizona has sued to have
But,
her seat.
Because they are going without representation. They have every right to sue. I mean, they allowed those one Republican representatives to come in and be sworn in when the House was down. They didn't care. It was because they had their families there. Like, that's fucking horse shit.
Oh, it's just like, we can't. When Obama was president, we can't place anyone on do any of the Supreme Court confirmation hearings because it's an election year, and then Trump was an election year, and they ramrodded 2 or 3 people through. But as far as the funding for the blue states, I mean, I can probably confidently state what will happen is if he actually does withhold that money, the states will sue him, they'll win, and they'll get the money. But it's what we've seen time and again is that people are going to fucking suffer while that all plays out in court because, they're withholding money, just like the SNAP shit, It's like,
Political theater of the highest order.
Yeah. And the Democrats continue to do almost nothing. I was thinking of this today. I'm like, why aren't the Democrat leadership every fucking day, every night, they should be having a press conference and they should be saying, these are the fucking laws. These are the atrocities that happened today because of this administration. We need to impeach and remove this guy. Every fucking day they should be doing that. And they're just like,
I'd really like it if you wouldn't let us shut the government down. Keep it down.
Well,
that'd be
it's
bad.
because we got people like Chuck Schumer in office. Like that idiot, when the president first came into power, I was seeing him go on like podcasts and stuff with the worst mic setup you could ever imagine. I mean, that guy doesn't know what it takes to reach anyone under the age of 60. Like they're just ridiculous, despondent old people that can't do the job they need to do to influence people. I mean, people like Kat Abergazala, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Like she
Kat
gets out there and goes,
yeah, I like her a lot. I hope she wins.
I mean,
I hope she wins.
She gets hit in the fucking face by ICE agents. She's so close to the action. She is in the shit. Her older peers should recognize the gains she has been getting by actually going out and being a part of the solution on some level. Like, yeah,
we need more Kat Abergazales. We need more Zora Mundanes. I wanted to say before this week that we need more Graham Plattners, but we'll fucking see about that shit.
Yeah. Well, if it isn't him, we need someone that
is not Mills and
in
not
that
Collins.
progressive. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm really conflicted on the whole subject, as you can tell, but I'm just kind of I'm putting a pin in it, and we'll just proceed with caution, and but fuck.
Do you guys have any takeaways from what we've already talked about, or any story that we didn't talk about that you'd just like to gab about for a minute before we get out of here?
Well, my personal takeaway from this week is not to put people on a pedestal. Don't build them up too much, because
you did talk about the White House demolition, didn't you?
Yeah,
we did
at the
before
beginning.
You came on. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, sorry I couldn't be here a little earlier. I appreciate you having me.
Always.
Glad you could join.
I gotta set up football for the old man. It's Thursday. Dear Lord, you gotta have that football.
Oh, it's already got to be half over. Jesus, Thursday? Oh man, I didn't check my fantasy lineup. I hope everybody's playing.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know.
Well, a few weeks ago, you said the Patriots are now trash. Would you like to, are still trash since Brady left? Would you like to amend that 4 wins on?
No, I wouldn't. I think
they're doing better.
They're doing better now than they have done since Brady left. But they're also in a weird part of their schedule, and I fully bet that they fall the fuck off. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not.
He broke even Tom Brady's record, wasn't it, for pass completion, something like that. I think he's got the new league record of all time. It was like 90 something. Drake May did. It was like 90 something % pass completion.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that one, but
Yeah.
I don't disbelieve it. They've had a couple of good
Y'all are
weeks.
football
But
boys.
I've been enjoying watching
Yes,
the
sir.
Giants though too when I can. That Scatabo.
Yeah, I used to be a Giants fan, and they like.
Oh, you're not
They're no. I actually
no.
don't have a team. I
man.
like whatever team wins me a couple of bucks every week now. I don't care who you are. Win
Spoken
me
like a
some
true
motherfucking
capitalist.
money.
I'm sorry. I guess I just spent too much time with my girlfriend Antifa who smokes weed.
Yeah. She's a cool chick, man.
She is. She is.
All right.
Beat you
With
right in
that-
the face, though, if you're not careful.
I think it's time to get out of here. I would like to thank Adam and Robbie for joining me today. For all of you who've tuned in. So, till we see you again, live long and
Bye,